Welcome to the Simplicity of Wellness podcast. I'm Amy White, holistic nutritionist, life coach, and weight loss specialist. If you're tired of overcomplicating food, battling your body, and starting over every Monday, you're in the right place. Here we talk about what actually works, simple shifts in food, mindset, and habits that lead to lasting change. Let's dive in. Welcome back, Simplifiers. If you're new here, I'm Amy White, board-certified holistic nutritionist and life coach who specializes in women's wellness after 40. I want you to picture something for me. You're getting ready in the morning, and there's this moment, just a split second, where you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror, and something flickers across your mind. Not a judgment, just a quiet, passing thought. When did I become her? It's not a dramatic thought. You don't say it out loud, but it's there. It's a low, almost imperceptible second of awareness that somewhere between the kids, the career, and the years of putting everyone else first, something quieted. The spontaneity, the always ready energy, the lightness, the version of you who said yes before she thought about whether she'd feel up to it. You've been so busy living your life that you forgot to live it as yourself. Today I want to talk about what's actually available to you right now. Not someday, not when the kids are older or the mortgage is paid or the timing is better, but right now. Because midlife isn't what you've been told it is. And once you see it differently, you can't unsee it. Let's start with the story we've all been handed about midlife. It goes something like this. After 40, everything gets harder. You start feeling worse, not better. The world stops seeing you the way it used to. You become somehow less vibrant, less visible, less interesting. And the best you can do is manage the decline gracefully. That's the story, and it's everywhere. In the media, in the medical system, in the offhanded comments at family dinners. Well, at your age, as if age is a verdict. Nobody handed you that story and asked you if you wanted it. You just absorbed it and then you started living inside it. And I personally have heard that story firsthand. I remember being in my late 30s and not feeling my best. So I did what made sense. I looked around my gym for the women who seemed to have it figured out. The ones who looked fit, who showed up consistently, who were a few years older than me and seemed to be managing well. And I asked them, what do I do? What should I expect? What they told me? Just wait. It gets way harder once you hit 40. I didn't like that answer, and I'm going to tell you why, because it matters. Those women weren't wrong about their experience. From the outside, they looked fit, strong, like women who knew exactly what they were doing. But in their own words, they felt worse. They were at the gym trying to get rid of weight that had seemingly appeared out of nowhere and kept creeping up no matter what they did. They were working hard, exercising for hours, cutting calories, doing everything they'd always done and more. And the scale kept going in the wrong direction anyway. They didn't have the energy they used to have. They felt like they had no control over what was happening to their bodies. Like their body was just going to do what it was going to do and there was nothing left to do but accept it. That's a devastating place to be. And it's an incredibly common one, especially in perimenopause and menopause, when the body's needs shift in ways nobody prepares you for. But here's what those women didn't know, and what I went looking for when I refused to accept that story. They had the movement piece dialed in completely. What they were missing was the other half of the equation, the nutrition piece, the biological information their bodies actually needed to find balance during those changes. Their bodies weren't failing them. They were just asking for something different. And honestly, in 2003, nobody was talking about what that something was. I knew there had to be something. So I went looking, which sounds straightforward, except I didn't even know what I was looking for. I just knew the answer I'd been given wasn't the whole story. So I kept digging. I kept asking questions. I kept reading and learning, chasing something I couldn't name but couldn't stop looking for. And I was right. There was more beyond 40 than just settling for feeling lousy. I didn't get worse in my 40s. I got my master's degree in nutrition. I reconnected with my body. I got better, not worse. I didn't accept the story. I disregarded it. And that's what I want for you. Because here's what the traditional midlife story conveniently leaves out. Midlife is often the first time in most women's adult lives that they have genuine authority over their own choices. The kids are older or have moved out of the house. The relationship dynamics have shifted. The career is established. The opinion of people who don't actually matter has started to carry less weight. You know things now that you didn't know at 25. About yourself, about people, about what actually matters, and what's just noise. You have resources you didn't have before: time, money, wisdom, perspective. And for possibly the first time in your adult life, nobody gets to tell you no. That's not decline, that's power. And most women in midlife don't even realize they're standing in that power. So let me offer you a different way to see this chapter, because I think the word midlife has been so loaded with the wrong story that it needs a complete reframe. What if midlife is actually your second childhood? Not a metaphor, not a consolation prize. A literal second chance at the freedom, the curiosity, the energy, the unapologetic presence you had before the world started telling you how to be. Except this time, you have everything your first childhood was missing, and nobody gets to tell you no. Let me show you what I mean. Think back to your actual childhood for a second. Not the hard parts, just the feeling of it. Before you knew you were supposed to be self-conscious about your body, before you started editing yourself for other people's comfort, before you spent any mental energy wondering what you were allowed to want. You just were curious, present, energetic, completely in your own body without apology. Then puberty arrived and everything changed. Your body changed without your permission. Your confidence followed. Suddenly there were rules about how you were supposed to look and act and take up space. Suddenly other people's opinions about your body became something you had to manage. And you've been managing it ever since. Puberty didn't just change your body, it changed your relationship with yourself. And most women have been living inside that shift for 40 plus years. But here's what I want you to see. Your first childhood gave you energy, curiosity, freedom, presence, but it didn't give you resources. It didn't give you wisdom. It didn't give you authority. Somebody else was always in charge. Somebody else was always telling you what you could and couldn't do. Your second childhood gives you everything the first one was missing. The wisdom to know what actually matters, the resources to build the life you actually want, the authority to make your own rules, and nobody left to tell you that you can't. The only thing your second childhood asks of you is that you actually show up for it, that you stop waiting for the right moment and recognize that this is it. This is the moment. You're already here. Let's get into the energy of the second childhood, because it's different from anything you felt before. It's not angry. It's not desperate. It's not the white-hot urgency of someone who just hit rock bottom and is clawing their way back. It's something quieter and more powerful than that. It's joyful. It's unbothered. It's the feeling of waking up one morning and realizing you've stopped auditioning for approval you never needed in the first place. You don't care in a joyful way. And that is one of the most powerful things a woman can feel. It shows up in small ways. The woman who doesn't care in a joyful way books the trip she kept postponing because she was waiting to feel ready. She wears the outfit without waiting for an occasion worthy of it. She stops making herself smaller in conversations where she used to shrink. She says no to things that don't serve her without a paragraph of explanation. She stops living like she's waiting for permission because she finally understands that the permission was always hers to give. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about getting back to someone you already know. You remember being her, the one with more energy, more passion, more presence, the one who moved through her days without her body being her biggest distraction, the one who didn't spend the first 10 minutes of every morning negotiating with herself. She didn't go anywhere. She's been quietly waiting. And midlife is the moment you finally have everything you need to go find her. That's the second childhood. Not a crisis, not a loss, a reclaiming. Everything I just described, the freedom, the authority, the joyful, unbothered energy of the second childhood, all of that is real and available to you. But I also know what I hear from women who are standing right at the edge of this chapter, ready to claim it, excited about it, able to see it clearly. One of my clients said it perfectly. She looked at me and she said, "My mind says go, 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 but my body says no, no, no." Her mind was already there. She could see the life she wanted. She could feel the version of herself she was ready to reclaim. But her body kept putting on the brakes. In real life, this might look like the 3 p.m. crash that steals the afternoon you had plans for. The energy that runs out before the sun even goes down. The food noise that takes up mental real estate you'd rather have focused on anything else. The body that doesn't quite feel like it's showing up for the life your mind is already living. That gap isn't a character flaw. It's biology, and biology responds to information. Your body does change. That part is true, but understanding what your body actually needs during those changes means you get to support it through them. You don't just survive the transition. You come out the other side feeling and looking like the person you remember. When your body has what it actually needs, when blood sugar's stable and protein is doing its job and hunger becomes information instead of interference, the gap closes. Your mind says, go, 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 and your body finally says, yes. That's what this chapter gets to feel like. All of it. Not just the clarity and the freedom and the authority, but a body that actually shows up for it. Here's what I want you to leave with today. Midlife is not the beginning of less. It's the beginning of you. Everything you've built, every hard thing you've navigated, every year of showing up for everyone else, it wasn't just survival. It was preparation for this, for the version of your life where you finally have the wisdom, the resources, the authority, and the freedom to live exactly as yourself. Your second childhood isn't coming. It's here. The only question is whether you're going to claim it. You're allowed to want this. Not someday, not when everything is perfectly lined up. Now, this chapter, this version of your life. The woman you remember, the one with more energy, more passion, more presence, she didn't fade because midlife arrived. She faded because nobody told you that you were allowed to keep her. So I'm reminding you, choose her. And if your mind is already there but your body hasn't caught up yet, that's the conversation I want to have with you. Book a free 60-minute coaching session with me because Monday mornings need to stop starting with the thought, this week will be better. You deserve better all the time. The link is in the show notes. It's called Transformation Starts Here because that's exactly what this is. Thanks for being here, and I'll be back in the next